For years, fans believed would keep restoring forgotten pieces of American history forever. Every week, millions of people tuned in to watch rusty gas pumps, broken soda machines, vintage motorcycles, and rare antiques come back to life. The transformations felt almost magical. But then, without warning, everything disappeared. Rick Dale, his family, and the entire crew suddenly vanished from the show. No explanation. No proper goodbye. Just silence. And that left fans asking one big question. What really happened behind the scenes that caused one of television's biggest restoration shows to completely fall apart? Before Rick Dale became a television star, he was simply a skilled craftsman running a small restoration shop in Las Vegas. Ironically, his journey to fame began through another massive hit show. When the series exploded in popularity in 2009, viewers became obsessed with vintage collectibles and rare antiques. Whenever the pawn shop owners needed help restoring old items, they often called Rick Dale. The moment he appeared on screen, people noticed something different. Viewers didn't just want to see antiques anymore. They wanted to watch the restoration process itself. The network quickly realized they had discovered something special. Rick wasn't polished like a typical TV personality. He felt authentic, genuine. He was a real craftsman who had spent decades learning his trade. In fact, his passion started when he was only 9 years old, after his father pulled a damaged bicycle from a dumpster and challenged him to repair it. That simple moment shaped the rest of his life, and soon it would shape reality television too. But nobody expected just how massive the show would become. When premiered in 2010, it quickly turned into one of the network's biggest successes. The series followed everyday life inside Rick's restoration shop, alongside his wife Kelly, his son Tyler, his brother Ron, and unforgettable crew members like Brettley and Cowboy. The chemistry between them felt natural. Their conversations sounded real. Their frustrations felt honest. Fans especially connected with Rick's relationship with Tyler, as he tried to teach his son the family business and prepare him to eventually take over the shop. At its peak, the show pulled in nearly 3 million viewers every single week and aired in dozens of countries around the world. Celebrities started bringing in rare collectibles for restoration. Famous musicians, illusionists, race car drivers, and collectors all wanted Rick's help. One episode even reached over 6 million viewers, becoming one of the highest-rated programs in the history of the channel. Suddenly, Rick Dale wasn't just a craftsman anymore. He had become the face of vintage restoration in America. But behind the scenes, things were already beginning to change. And that's where the story takes a strange turn. In the early seasons, the show focused heavily on the restoration process itself. Viewers watched old machines get carefully dismantled, repaired, painted, and rebuilt piece by piece. But as the series became more successful, producers wanted more drama, more conflict, more tension. According to people familiar with the production, many scenes were scripted or heavily staged. Conversations with customers were planned ahead of time. Timelines were manipulated to create fake pressure. Even some arguments inside the shop were exaggerated for television. Fans slowly started noticing inconsistencies. Some customers appeared to be filmed multiple times during different stages of a restoration. Certain scenes felt forced. Then came moments that seriously damaged the show's credibility. In one episode connected to E, Rick's own brother pretended not to know him while bringing in an item for restoration. Viewers already knew Ron worked in the shop, making the entire interaction feel fake and awkward. But that was only the beginning. Another controversy involved a badly damaged slot machine that supposedly got restored on the show. In reality, the original machine was beyond repair, so Rick reportedly located another identical machine and used it instead. But the series presented it as though the original had been completely restored. To many viewers, that crossed the line from entertainment into deception. And as more stories surfaced, people began questioning how much of the show was actually real. Behind closed doors, producers were allegedly controlling nearly everything. They selected which customers appeared on camera. They handled project budgets. They even pushed impossible deadlines to create suspense. Professional restorers later criticized the show for rushing important work and sacrificing historical accuracy just to make restorations look flashier on television. By this point, the series had slowly transformed from a show about craftsmanship into a reality drama built around fake tension. And longtime fans were getting frustrated. Online complaints exploded during the later seasons. Many viewers said the show no longer felt authentic. Instead of watching detailed restorations, they were seeing staged arguments and unnecessary family drama. Restoration experts became even harsher, accusing the series of damaging antiques by replacing original parts, ignoring historical details, and using inaccurate paint and designs. For Rick Dale, the situation became deeply personal. After spending over 30 years building a respected business, he was now being told how to run his own shop by television producers chasing ratings. And eventually he reached his limit. But what happened next shocked everyone. After 6 seasons, Rick Dale reportedly refused to sign a new contract. He walked away from the show entirely. That decision stunned fans, because very few people would willingly leave behind a hit television series and the massive paycheck that came with it. Successful reality TV stars can earn enormous amounts of money every season. Yet Rick chose to leave anyway. Why? Because he no longer felt like himself. According to people close to the production, Rick felt more like an actor reading lines than a craftsman restoring history. The constant fake drama wore him down emotionally. Every disagreement had to be exaggerated. Every moment needed more tension. The quiet, creative environment of his shop had reportedly turned into something that barely resembled reality anymore. More than anything, Rick wanted his business back. He wanted real customers, real projects, real restoration work. Then came a moment fans still remember years later. Rick uploaded an emotional video thanking viewers for supporting him throughout the show's run. He looked exhausted, hurt. At times, it even seemed like he was struggling to hold back tears. Fans saw someone who genuinely loved his craft, but simply could not continue under the network's conditions anymore. And instead of trying to repair the relationship, the network made a drastic choice that changed the future of the entire series. When Season 7 finally arrived, looked completely different. Rick Dale and his crew were gone. In their place were multiple restoration shops from around the country. The format had been completely rebuilt from scratch. Instead of following one family and one connected story, the show now jumped between different garages, different crews, and mostly vehicle restorations. Fans were furious. One of the biggest reasons viewers loved Rick's version of the show was the variety. One week they might see a vintage jukebox restored. The next week, a soda machine, a barber chair, or a rare piece of American history. But the reboot focused heavily on cars and motorcycles, making it feel similar to countless other restoration programs already on television. Worse, the emotional connection was gone. Fans had spent 6 seasons getting attached to Rick, Tyler, Ron, Cowboy, and Brettley. Without them, the show suddenly felt empty. The constant switching between different shops also made the storytelling feel chaotic. Just as viewers started getting interested in one project, the episode would suddenly cut to another city, with entirely different people. The heart of the series had vanished overnight, and the ratings quickly proved it. Despite bringing in celebrity guests and expensive projects, the reboot failed to connect with audiences. Within only a few months, the network cancelled the show entirely. After years of success was officially over, in the end, the network believed it could recreate the series while removing the very person who made it special. Instead, the decision destroyed the show completely. But what happened to Rick Dale after walking away from television? These days, Rick lives a much quieter life. He and his wife Kelly shifted into different businesses, including a custom embroidery and laser cutting company. Rick also wrote a book about vintage soda machines and occasionally shares smaller fabrication projects online. But compared to his television days, he has mostly stepped away from the spotlight. His family also moved on in different directions. Tyler developed his own skills in woodworking and fabrication. Brett Lee built a successful blasting business in Las Vegas. Ron focused on custom bicycles and stayed largely out of public view. Even Cowboy disappeared almost entirely from the public eye after the show ended, and maybe that's the strangest part of the entire story. For millions of viewers, Rick Dale and his crew felt like a family preserving forgotten pieces of American history together. But behind the scenes, the pressure of reality television slowly transformed something authentic into something artificial. In the end, Rick made a choice very few people in television ever make. He chose integrity over fame. He chose craftsmanship over ratings. And even though it cost him a hit television show, many fans believe that decision is exactly why they still respect him today.